I still tend to introduce to the whole class and begin as a whole class at the basic level. Intermediate level, I only introduce as a whole class the first time we use Listenwise to introduce it to students and help students learn how to navigate it. And after that, those intermediate students need to do a lot more independent work. So um, those are the groupings and strategies that I tend to use that I find the most successful. And if you go on to the next slide, I'll talk about some of the things that I've used. So um, the first thing that is really exciting for me in using Listenwise is that it contains so much relevant information. We have co-taught classes for science on our campus. So I've used science lessons or referred to students and teachers to science lessons. But in my English language development classes, I tend to focus more on things that either tie directly to our ELD curriculum. If you're an EL teacher, you probably know or have heard of Kate Kinsella. That's our adopted curriculum with English 3D. And there are a lot of lessons that tie directly to that, to some of that content. For example, the immigrant experience ties very well with the first lesson in language launch, which is designed for the lower level English speakers. The other thing that I love about Listenwise and that I frequently use for Listenwise are things that are podcasts that connect to or explain US holidays. So holidays that are unique to the United States. So every year students want to know, why do we have Martin Luther King Jr. Day as a holiday? What is that? And so we'll usually start working on our Listenwise 2 or 3 days before Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And then we'll usually finish up a day or two afterwards. And I always use these materials and these lessons to be jumping off points for a speaking assignment that follows it, where they have to take the material that they've been learning about and then record themselves talking about either main idea and supporting details, or relating it to some similar holiday, whatever, to keep it interesting and fresh. Students really were very interested in the Martin Luther King Jr. I Have a Dream. It was a lot of fun to work on. Same thing with immigrant experience. They really resonate with a lot of our students. We also, I also like to find things that connect to students' cultures. And being here in Arizona, we have many students from Mexico, and they're familiar with the Aztec and the Mayans and those indigenous cultures. And so for Valentine's Day, we did Mayans and the history of chocolate. And so again, a fun link to talk about in authentic language, to talk about some holidays and refresh some history and honor the cultural background of a large group of my students. And then I also like to do things that just sort of point out some of the crazy things about English. Something we don't often think about is just how unusual and unique spelling is in English, and the fact that English is one of the few languages that really isn't very phonetic. And so I use the podcast Spelling Bee Fun, and I often do that in conjunction with the movie Aquila and the Bee. So kids can learn the background of what a spelling bee is, because it's a completely foreign concept to kids who speak languages that are very phonetic, where, what it sounds like, that's how you spell it. So again, just very relevant, age appropriate, level appropriate just such rich resources to really engage our students.